Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Fiberflux. In this video, I will show you how to crochet a Harvest Votive. This is a fun and fast fall project. You can use it to decorate a plain jar. Just add a little bit of fall to it. You can use these as votives, like I've shown in the written pattern if you visit the Fiberflux blog. You can also fill these with fall treats and put the lid on. Makes a nice gift. So let's begin. There is a taller version, which I'm going to show you how to do in this video, but also be sure and watch the video for the smaller version if you have a shorter jar. They're made basically the same, using the same stitch, but one is a little shorter to accommodate the shorter jar. So you'll need worsted weight yarn for this project. I use Lion Brand's Heartland. This orange is called the Yosemite. The green is called Joshua Tree. You'll also need a 5mm H crochet hook. You'll need some buttons, and I used some fall leaves. If you would like more information about these buttons, you can also visit the Fiberflux blog where I have information about these particular buttons, if you like these. You'll also need a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors to do your finish work and to sew the button to your project. So let's get started. So again, we're going to make the larger version of the Harvest Votive, and this measures 9 inches circumference and has a height of 3 inches. So it's a little taller than this one. This one is about 1.5 inches. So let's get started. To begin, we're going to put a slip knot on our hook. To make a slip knot, wrap the yarn around your fingers and make a loop. Bring the yarn behind the loop, reach in with your crochet hook and bring up a loop. We're going to have a starting chain of 11. To make a chain, wrap yarn around the hook and bring it through the loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's our starting chain. To work row 1, we're going to make our first fan. You can see these are rows of fans in the 5th chain from the hook. This loop here does not count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th chain from the hook. We're going to work a double crochet. To make a double crochet, wrap yarn around hook, insert the hook into the chain, bring up a loop. Wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the first 2 loops. Wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the last 2 loops. The double crochet. We're going to make another double crochet in the same chain. Then we're going to chain 1 and work 2 more double crochets, all in the same chain. By working all these stitches into the chain, it'll make that fan shape. Okay, then we're going to skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and in the next chain, we'll do the same thing. 2 double crochets, 1, 2, then we'll chain 1, get some more yarn, and then 2 more, all in the same chain. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in the same chain. Next, we're going to skip the next chain, and in that very last chain, we'll make a double crochet. Just 1 this time to finish off the row, okay? So row 1 should look kind of like this. You should have 2 of these fans. Now if we go back to our votive, the fans are stacked on top of one another. So to go into the next row, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work, and then we're going to work the next set of fans into the tops of the previous fans. So in the pattern, I refer to this space as the chain 1 space. We're going to be working right into this space. So we'll work 2 double crochets, the same as the previous row, 2 double crochets, some more yarn, then a chain 1, then 2 double crochets, all into that fan from the previous row. So it'll look kind of like that. Next, we're going to go to the next fan from the previous row and do the same exact thing. 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. Okay, to finish off this row, we're going to work 1 double crochet in the turning chain space. That's when we made a chain 3 and turned our work. That's called a turning chain. So in this space, we're going to work a double crochet to finish off the row. So to continue with your votive, you're just going to keep repeating this row over and over and over until your votive is the circumference that you need it to be for your particular jar. If you're using this quilted jelly jar like I'm using, I went for about 9 inches, but you'll want to try it out on your own jar. To finish off your votive, obviously yours will be longer than this, but we're going to fasten off for learning purposes. We can clear our yarn out. You'll want to, when you're finished, you'll want to fasten off. And then I just wanted to show you, I'm going to unbutton this votive sleeve here. If you open it up, you can see how it looks when it's finished. So what you're going to do, this is our starting edge where we made our starting chain. This is the side you sew the button onto. Then when you go to button it, you can use these decorative lacy holes as buttonholes to go around the jar. If you want a more snug fit, you can come in 1 hole, just like that. So what you're going to do when you're finished, this is our example piece, is you're going to weave in the ends. I'll show you how to weave one of the ends in. Just thread your tapestry needle. And you're going to come in one direction. And then come in the other direction. That will lock that little tail in. Then you can take your scissors and trim. Then you'll need to locate the starting edge like we did in our example. You're going to take your button. Then you're going to take a piece of matching yarn. You can cut about 6 or 8 inches. It doesn't have to be too long. Then you'll thread your tapestry needle. I just wanted to point out that whenever you're working with buttons and you're sewing them onto a project, make sure that your tapestry needle can easily fit through the buttonholes. These are pretty large, but just make sure with your particular buttons. And again, if you really like these buttons, there's more information about them on the Fiberflux blog. You can click the link below and it'll take you there. So we have our example piece. And again, this starting edge, you'll just place your button where you want it to be. And then come in from the back. You can just go in one is probably not enough. Probably 2, maybe even 3 if you want your button really secure. So just go through there a few times. Just like that. And it looks really nice with the matching yarn. So just flip it over. Then you can just tie a few knots in that. And then these tails here, you'll also weave those in. I won't weave all of them in, you'll have a few, but I'll show you one of them. So you'll weave those tails in. And also be sure and save your scraps for the birds in the spring. They like to build their nest out of them when you trim these pieces. So just come in one direction. Again, in the other direction. And then you can go ahead and trim that. Just like that. And weave the rest of the tails in. So then when you're finished, you can take your finished piece using that decorative buttonhole. Go ahead and button it. and slip the jar on there. This is also a great way to reuse some jars from the refrigerator. If you're finished with a jar of jelly or olives or something like that, you can just use one of the jars. And there you go. That's how you crochet the Harvest Votive. Again, this is the larger version. If you'd like to learn how to also make a, a smaller version, there is a video for that as well. So thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the red subscribe button to get all the latest Fiberflux video updates. Thanks again.